Hi there, my name is Jonas Elahauge, and I currently live in an area referred to as Norway. Actually, I also speak Norwegian, and I'm going to say a few words in Norwegian, but I prefer to continue in English afterwards. Jeg heter Jonas, og jeg snakker norsk også, men jeg er vokst opp i det området som kalles Danmark, og delvis også i området som kalles Sverige. Okay, back to English. I feel more comfortable speaking English after all. So, apparently there's about to be an election in Norway very soon. I received this in the mail quite recently. It's a piece of paper that invites me to take part in this ritual called an election. And I suppose a lot of people out there would suggest that I should now feel privileged because I didn't grow up here and I don't hold a so-called citizenship of this area that people call a country. Now, I am not going to vote in this election or in any other election because voting is in fact an aggressive action towards your fellow man. When you vote, you're actually suggesting what person you want to be in charge of all the guns within a specific geographic region, and how they're going to use those guns not just in self-defense, but how they're going to use those guns for aggressive actions towards your neighbor and other people in your community. You see, a government does not just protect you and your property from aggression. A government actually takes away stuff at gunpoint from you and the people around you. And now I've been using the word government a few times here, but in fact government doesn't exist. Now, from a philosophical and scientific, above all scientific perspective, government does not exist. The Norwegian government, the country Norway, does not exist, nor does Sweden exist, nor does Germany exist, nor does the United States exist, nor does the government of any of these nations exist. You cannot touch a government. You cannot look at it through a microscope. Hence, it does not exist. It's an abstract entity. It's an idea inside people's heads. So if you believe in it, it exists for you the way that God exists for you if you believe in God. And if you don't believe in God, God does not exist. So what distinguishes this group of people that call themselves the government from other groups of people? Well, in the physical world, there is no distinction. They're just people that control some resources. Quite a lot of resources, in fact. What distinguishes them from others is that they claim to have the right to use violence or to threaten people with violence who are not doing any harm to anybody. So in reality, there is no way that you can scientifically, with universal principles, distinguish a government from any other group of violent people, such as the mafia or a terrorist organization, say Al-Qaeda. Now, how would you feel if Al-Qaeda, or if say the local mafia, if they would send you this in the mail and suggest that you can now vote for who's going to be in charge of the local mafia or in charge of the local cell of Al-Qaeda terrorists, right? Would you feel lucky? Would you feel privileged? Would you actually feel that that's a good way of making the world a better place, to make the threat go away. If you don't like the way that the local mafia is handling issues in your society, if you don't like the way that Al-Qaeda is doing, I mean, the people who do that, they believe they're doing the right thing. The people in the mafia and the people in Al-Qaeda actually believe that they're doing the right thing. But you think that they're doing damage to society. Now, would you think that voting for who's going to be in charge of Al-Qaeda or being in charge of the mafia is going to make things better? Of course not. You will instead try to ignore them, try to avoid them, and do everything you can for everybody else to do the same, to make them not support these organizations and not give them any more resources. So that's why I do not feel in any way lucky or privileged to receive this in my mail. I find it quite offensive, because it's a way of suggesting that I would take part in aggressive behaviors towards my neighbors and other fellow people of the human race. So I'm not going to vote in this election or any other election, and I would suggest that you follow my example in order to make the world a better place.